Moms and dads, are you losing sleep because of your newborn or your infant? Well, you're going to want to watch this episode to learn how you can actually get some Z's.
Super lollies, you can learn a lot from us. Super lollies, yeah, we know a lot of stuff. Super lollies, we can
Welcome to another episode of the Super Lollies. I'm Anthony Lolly, the dad.
I'm Love Lolly, the sister. I'm Legend Lolly, 4 years old, and I'm the brother of the family.
I'm Teresa Hakobian Lolly, and I'm the mom of the family. So today we want to approach all the new to be parents. We want to discuss something super crucial, a hot topic, which is sleep training. How do you get your kids to sleep? Especially when they're new to the world, they don't know sleeping. And did you know that sleeping is a learned it's a learned thing. Just like you learn how to walk, you're going to learn how to sleep.
So there's major decisions that you have to make from a dad's perspective. When your wife is pregnant and you're expecting, there's a saying, right? Forget about sleep. Well, there's a reason why. It's because the kids actually cry a lot in the middle of the night. They need a lot of attention.
Not really cry, they wake up.
They wake up, right?
And if they're not attended and their needs are not met, that's when they cry.
So there's sleep training versus what?
Right. So there's three approaches: sleep training, sleep coaching, and then not sleep training at all.
Right.
Right.
So Love and Legend.
Nursing.
Nursing, right.
Nursing.
So Legend, were you nursed or were you sleep trained?
Nursed.
Love?
Nursed.
So
What does that mean
what does
for
that
you?
mean?
That I have emotional intelligence.
Oh yeah? Why is
Yeah,
that? Why is
actually,
that?
she's-
Why do you think
Because
that?
Straight on point.
Titik milk have brain develop.
Okay.
It can make you
so
smart
what is
like
titik
us.
milk? Because that's an internal Armenian word. So what is titik?
Titik is booby.
Booby milk. All right. So what you're saying is you drank booby milk to sleep. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and that makes you smart because the milk makes smart. It's from your mother.
So sleep training, right? So sleep training, from what I understand and what I observed, is basically you're training the child to cry themselves to sleep.
Absolutely. So it is highly recommended. The trend became popular in 1980s. This was 7 years before I was born. But of course, United States of America started a trend. It didn't get to my country, so I'm not sleep trained. But it became a stress, and it actually, there's so much research that it is directly linked to the widespread anxiety. Kids all over the United States, I know adults, 30s, 20s, are on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication. And that is directly linked to those 3 days of sleep training, the cried out. It's right. But actually, the pediatricians recommend, they say, it's going to be hard for the first 3 days, but it is going to make a world of a difference in your child's development, because the child is going to get enough sleep. They're going to develop perfectly. If you just do the 3 days of cried out technique, it's just 3 days of badness, but then you're going to rip the benefits of this beautiful technique forever. So the moms and dads that don't know better, they're like, yes, of course, I want my kid to do better. So I'm going to let them cry. They stand behind the door and they cry with the kid, but they don't go into the room because the pediatrician said, do the cried out, right? So what would you say to the parents who think they're doing something good for their child because of the pediatrician's recommendation?
I would say don't trust them. Because if you're trusting them and at the same time you're by the door hearing your kid cry, you should be like, oh, no.
So why is that method not good if it's just temporary? 2-3 days of crying, then the kid... Sounds good to me, right?
Yep.
The kid gets longer
Sounds
sleep. They don't get
perfect.
up as much.
And then the parents get good sleep, and happy parents, happy baby. It's such a good way to sell this technique. It's great. All right, let me ask Legend something. Legend, pretend you're a newborn. You came?
Wah.
That's right.
Wah.
Okay, so you came out to this world. What do you see?
Sunshine.
And you're seeing your mommy and your daddy, right? Did you know that up to like 9 months old, you still think that you're a part of your mother? That you haven't mentally disconnected and thought that you're a separate human being? It is true. You can do all the research. So you're over there, 4 months old, Legend. Okay, close your eyes. You're 4 months old. Okay, you don't even have teeth. You can't even crawl. All you could do is be held by your parents. Now your mother puts you to a crib, and now you're supposed to go to sleep. You can't because you haven't learned that. Automatically, what do? To call mommy back?
Cry.
That's right. So you're crying. Mommy doesn't come. Now, what do? That's right. So take it to the next level. You're screaming. You're screaming. Scream harder.
Wah! Wah!
Mommy's not coming. What are you going to do now? Scream harder and longer. Yes? And mommy's still not coming. What are you going to think in your tiny little 4-month-old brain?
Wow, my mom doesn't love me.
Wow.
Bingo. What are you going to think? That's one. Mom doesn't love me. What are you going to think, baby? 4 months old. Start crying. Nobody's coming.
That mommy's ignoring me.
Which means what?
Mommy,
I'm not important.
I'm not important. And
What
then
else?
when they grow up, they have low self-esteem.
Thank you.
What's self-esteem? Self-esteem is like when you feel important. Low self-esteem is when you feel less important.
Here are the few things. Legend said the baby thinks mommy doesn't love me. Includes daddy. Daddy doesn't love me. So my parents don't love me. And all you got is your mom and dad, by the way, in this whole world. You're a newborn baby. All you got is your mom and world.
That is
and
the most important.
That's
Because God is dad.
true. So dad doesn't come either. Mom doesn't come, dad doesn't come. So you're thinking my mom and my dad don't love me. Then you're thinking I'm not important because my mom and dad are ignoring me. What else could you think, Legend?
I can think that monsters are coming because I think even though I have mom and dad, monsters.
Sure. So now third, you have fear in yourself because monsters are coming. My mom is not coming. My dad is not coming. Where am I? Are monsters coming? Right? There's fear. There's anxiety.
So now
There's hysteria
a
in
child
the child.
that's only months old is
Yeah.
thinking all of this?
A child that's 4 months old is definitely thinking, I'm not loved. I'm not important. Maybe they're not thinking monsters, but they are definitely scared.
But don't they get over it after 2-3 days? They just go to sleep. How can they think anything if they go to sleep?
They go to sleep from exhaustion. They exhaust themselves. And you can ask any pediatrician. The first day, it's only going to take 45 minutes. It's like they know the strength of the baby, right? How long do they cry to death until they fall asleep from complete exhaustion?
So what you're talking about, this technique of not allowing the child to cry themselves to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But what about working moms? What about working dads that they actually need their sleep?
Mm-hmm.
They actually can't function on 3 hours of broken up sleep, and they can't, do this on a constant thing. What do? Like, this is basically their only option, right?
There are many options. And it really comes down to researching. At least while you're pregnant, you've got 9 months to research. But people don't really think about it because they're so focused on the birth and the baby shower and what clothes to buy and what bed to buy, how to decorate the room.
It's so funny.
They
People
don't-
do more research on gender
That's right.
reveal parties
That's
and how to
right.
make that unique. They do more research on how to do the best baby shower and the baby shower registry and all this kind of stuff.
And my mom thought the doctors were right one time, right? You said, "Oh." And then when I was like 4 months or I was almost going to be born on the day or the day before the day, they were setting up my whole room and there was a crib. And the
Well,
moment
you were
I
in our room, but we were setting up a crib. And by the way, at 4 months old, your pediatrician did tell me.
You tried.
I tried. They told me to sleep train you.
And my mom listened, and she put me in the crib, and
I
then
did.
she went to sleep.
I didn't go to sleep. I was by the door. Once you cried, 10 minutes later, 10 minutes of you were whining. The moment it became into crying, I gave up. I was like, I'm not doing this to my kid. I held her. I nursed her. She
But you
went to
have a
sleep.
heart.
And then what I did is research. I mean, honestly, parents, we've got so much research right under our fingertips.
If you're going to make a decision, at least make an informed decision, right? Make a decision. If you're going to do this, letting them cry and all
Do
that,
Google
at least know
pros and
what the
cons of
consequences
cry it
are.
out.
Yeah.
Somebody says, do this to your kid. Go ahead to Google, ask about the pros and cons of that, of what
Anyway,
you're
what
doing.
does a doctor know who has to work all these hours? They barely have any time with their own family. A lot of these successful people that are professionals, like when we visit doctors every now and then when necessary, the hours they're totally booked. 8 a.m. to 9 o'clock at night, booked. How much interaction do they have with their wife and their actual children? They're just talking to you from what they've learned, highly educated, scholastically educated, but they're not in real world practical environments,
Yeah.
you know?
Love, what can all of that crying do to the child?
The cortisol gets up and like they're all scared. Their fear's up. Their cortisol is up. They're like, where am I? Where am I? They're so scared.
Yeah, and then you wonder why the kids are unfriendly. And when they see strangers, they don't just smile and be friendly. They just clingy to their parent because they have fears.
Maybe
they
they're
have
afraid that
self-esteem. Right, they have fears. And those 3 days, believe it or not, do emotional damage to the main level.
Emotional damage.
Well, listen, what I've noticed from being an observer of elite level parenting that Teresa does.
While he was sleeping, he was observing
I
all
was
of
sleep
that.
training myself, by the way. I had to train myself to sleep.
I sleep trained him, yes.
What Teresa was saying and what I was thinking was when I look at other kids, a lot of them look down on the floor. They're shy. They're introverted. There's a reason
Clingy,
behind they're
very
clingy.
clingy.
There's a reason behind that. And I think a lot of it stems from the early childhood development, from infancy.
It gives a massive impact.
How
on a
you
child's-
start is how you finish sometimes,
And it's never finished.
Right.
You never finish parenting.
Right.
And just when you think that you got it all figured out, then your kids are great, something new comes. Some new developmental leap that you, as a parent, you need to catch up and understand what's going on. You need to empathize with them emotionally. And, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. And sometimes I learn on my mistakes as a parent because I know how I feel. And I just recommend all the moms to follow their gut. Whenever you feel something is not right, follow your gut. So the answer, right? So how do you solve it? Let's say the people are working and
They're working.
they can't co-sleep.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you didn't touch on co-sleep. So the other option is co-sleeping. So you sleep with your children in the same bed or in the same room, and you guys are all together, and that provides a level of comfort.
And co-sleeping is like the mother still nurses the kid to sleep, and actually not nurses, but the mother cuddles the kid to sleep. And then when they're asleep, they walk out of the room.
Yeah, at least the child is already asleep. I mean, there's other options. When the child wakes up in the middle of the night, why are they waking up? They either pee or poop, tummy hurts, or it's their sleep cycle that's over. They can't fall asleep into the next sleep cycle. So Lovey, in that case, if the mom is not nursing, let's say, so a lot of women have issues with nursing, which we can touch on another episode, but let's say they're not nursing, they can give a pacifier and cuddle the baby to sleep. They can change the diaper. They can tap the back if the tummy is hurting. Whatever it is, you have to be there for your kid. You brought this kid to the world. You have to be there for them during their most crucial years.
Or you can sleep coach.
Instead of leaving the child in the room screaming and,
And not
crying
showing
and not
up
showing
at
up,
all?
at least you walk in the room, you touch them, you say, "I'm here."
You don't touch actually or
Oh.
pick up. You're saying, I love you. I'm here. You're doing great.
Right. At least they
And
hear
you
your
walk out.
voice, and then you walk out. So you go in every few
You
minutes.
go in every few minutes. Even though the kid is like, she's not picking up. She's not nursing me. But the
Well,
kid
at
knows
least they don't
that
have
you're
an
there.
expectation of you picking them up and doing all
My
that.
mom tried sleep coaching for a few days. She had like a speaker, and when I was like, "Mommy," she used to
That's
talk.
right. I did. Yes, we actually had a sleep trainer.
We had a lot. First of all, we tried a lot of different techniques.
But
right?
that time we were working with a sleep coach, by the
Right.
way, because I refused to cry it out then, but we had sleeping problems. So I was looking for more of a loving way to train them to sleep on their own when she stopped nursing.
Moms and dads, especially moms, do you know that this is such a worldwide problem? There are sleep coaches that
There- many of them.
specialize in
Google.
in helping newborn parents
Yeah.
to help with not only their own personal sleep but their child's sleep.
But the other one was this heart recorder
Yeah.
where you actually record your voice.
Yeah, like the Staples button that says that was easy. This was a button that you can record your own voice. And so what was the methodology behind that? It was like
It was the sleep coaching that I tried on Legend. It didn't work, but we went through it for 2 days. Where basically he was next to me, I was next to him. Every time he woke up and he cried, I would push the button because I'm half asleep.
the button would
And
say night night legend night night.
You are one of the most demanding babies out there. You would demand, you would cry, you will go to the next level. But you know, that's why I ended up giving up and nursing him till he was 3.5. I was like, I can't
squeaky
win.
wheel.
Squeaky wheel. I can't win this kid.
Super lollies, you can learn a lot